Welcome to Topic 7. These are our vocabulary cards for Topic 7. I will be going through each of our new vocabulary terms as well as their definitions, and then you will be doing your own vocabulary activity. So let's get started. I'm going to scroll down and start with this term data. The definition for data is right here, and that is pieces of information are called data. So in this example, Rico's paper chains, the data is the number that you find in each row and column of the table. So number of paper chains, for example, is 3, and the length of those paper chains is 6 inches. That's an example of data. One of the ways that you can collect data is by conducting or doing a survey. Collecting information by asking a number of people the same question and recording their answers is called a survey. This is an example. They conducted a survey of perhaps students' favorite colors, and they have used tally marks to record answers. And we remember how tally marks work, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, for example. But whenever you get to that 5th, 4, 5, then you put a line through your hash marks or tally marks. Okay, so how can you represent all of that data? Well, the first example that we see is called a frequency table. A table used to show the number of times something occurs is called a frequency table. And in the example that they show you, the frequency table is about the kind of book and how many times it's sold at Simon's bookshop. And the frequency is represented right here with the numbers 25 and 40. All right, so let's move up and take a look at the rest of our terms. Going to start with the term scale, and you'll see here in a moment that scale is going to be important for this unit. We'll use it a number of times. So here is the term scale. The definition is the numbers that show the units used on a graph are called a scale. So in this example, the units are units of 2. Each one of these bars represents 2 children. You can see it goes from 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6. So it's almost like a number line. Each one of those units, though, represents 2 children. So if you were going to be counting, you could see that music for favorite activity, that's the favorite activity for 6 children. And dance, that's the favorite activity for 4 children. So the units in this particular activity, that's a scale of 2. All right, now let's look at the scaled bar graph. You can see how they are using scale in this example. Again, you see the same units of 2. So a graph using bars to show data is called a scaled bar graph. Scaled bar graph. All right, now our last 2 terms. Let's do this one first. Key. We will also be using this term key in our cultural studies class when we talk about maps and symbols in maps. So a key, definition over here, a key explains what each symbol represents in a picture graph. So here's how it works over here. In this example, each potted plant, each little symbol here represents 5 plants. So not just 1 plant, but 5 plants. So for example, in April, if you were to count by 5, which is how you should do it, April, they sold 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 plants. And in May, they sold 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 plants. So the key is important because it tells us how many that particular symbol represents in a picture graph. And what kind of graph? Well, a scaled picture graph. A graph using pictures or symbols to show data is called a scaled picture graph. All right, I hope this helps you as you go about completing this unit, and you're going to have an opportunity to practice with these vocabulary terms, not only in the vocabulary exercise, but of course in every lesson that we do. So good work, everybody. Thanks for listening.